everybody, and welcome back. Hi. So I don't know what I'm doing. Hi.
Hi.
Let's not discuss the outfit I'm wearing right now. I don't even know what this is. I just slapped it on out of nowhere just now for some reason, and we're just gonna go with this. Should I keep the top on? Should I keep the top on? We're keeping the top on. Anyway, so I am in a reading slump because I read two 800-page books back to back, A Little Life followed by House of Earth and Blood. So I figured that since I'm not reading anything at the moment and I would like to maintain my constant upload schedule because I've been doing a lot better this year than I have last year, that I would just sit back and plagiarize my twins' video. Okay, so reading with Meg over here, I was watching her video, her 20 questions book tag, and at the end she was like, I tag everyone, and I was like, I volunteer as tribute because I have literally nothing else to do, okay? I've got nothing lined up. I don't have anything. I'm not reading anything. Literally, my wrap up at the end of this month is gonna be me converting oxygen to carbon dioxide for 5 minutes, just staring at the camera looking cute because of how little I read. So today, we're doing the 20 questions book tag. I don't know who the original creator of this tag is, or if this tag just manifested itself on the internet through some sentient consciousness. What am I talking about? I'm high on life, okay? I'm high on life, okay? Don't clock me on the algorithm. What am I saying? Okay, so 20 questions, 20 bookish questions. I literally don't know what my answers are gonna be because I'm literally making this video off the description of Megan's video. I'm choosing to not give a shit about how I look in this video, okay? So if I'm sweating, if my hair looks like ass, if my hair looks like a rat's nest. So the first question is, how many books are too many for a series? I'm not a series reader. The only book series I do commit to are the ones of Sarah J Maas because it all started with Throne of Glass. I prefer standalone books, okay? I never got into series. I can count the amount of series that I've finished in one hand. I read series that had 3 books a pop, and I read series that had 8 books a pop. As long as the story is interesting, that's that. That's that. So sorry for the disappointing beginning, but I did not make a script for this. I'm literally talking out of my ass like how I always do. So there you go. Subscribe. Number 2, how do you feel about cliffhangers? My opinion on this tends to change. If I'm reading a book that I know I have access to the sequel of, I love a cliffhanger. It makes me want to read the next book immediately. It makes me want to just dive right in. I love having the promise of a next book just there, just waiting for me. So there's that. However, if it's a standalone book and the ending is a cliffhanger-ish or ambiguous, if I don't care enough about the story to want to analyze that ending, I will fucking hate that book so much, it's not even funny, okay? Yeah. Question number 3, hardcover or paperback? I prefer paperback because hardcovers, I hate dust jackets so much. I tend to lose them, which is really sad. Don't look at my shelf because there are some naked books there and I don't want this video to get yanked down. But dust jackets, I cannot stand them, and I just don't like how bulky hardback books are. They're expensive, they're harder to read, they're heavier, no, I like a floppy book. Number 4, what is your favorite book? I don't know, okay? I have way too many books that I would consider my favorite. I don't know if I have one single favorite book over all the books I've read that I would consider the best of the best. So if I were to come up with like a favorites list off the top of my head, I would go with The Usual Suspects, Survivor by J.F. Gonzalez, Night Film by Marisha Pessl, Killing Stalking by Kugi, I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Ian Reid, Tender as the Flesh by Augustina Bazterrica, Recursion by Blake Crouch. That book, oh gosh, that book is amazing. A Little Life by HANYA YANAGIHARA. Obviously, that book is just my entire being, my entire soul. Those are the books I think about when I think about books, basically. There you go. Number 5, what is your least favorite book? So again, I don't know if I have an answer of like the worst book out of all the books I've read. So I'm gonna just have to name the usual suspects all over again. So yeah, the worst of the worst books that pissed me off so much. The Chalkman by C.J. Tudor made me so fucking mad. The Amityville Horror by Jay Anson, hate that book. Nothing But Blackened Teeth by Cassandra Cow, awful, awful garbage. 56 Days by Catherine Ryan Howard was my worst book of last year. Terrible in every way, shape, or form. Twilight by Stephanie Meyer, I read that for the first time last year and it was nightmare fuel, honestly. Question number 6. Love triangles, yes or no? For the most part, no, they're pretty cringe, but sometimes they can be pretty juicy. I'm talking specifically about the book A Lesson in Thorns by Sierra Simone. Okay, so let me explain to you the dynamic of this love triangle. So basically it was the same setup as one would normally be. Like there was 2 guys, there was 1 woman. So the 2 guys also liked the 1 woman, but then they also liked each other. So the love triangle was like super juicy, like everybody wanted in on everybody, and that book was like, I didn't hate it at all, honestly. Question number 7. The most recent book you couldn't finish. So the most recent book I DNF'd was this book called Follow the River by C.E. Ritchie, I think. This was sold to me as this gay smut book, enemies to lovers, forced proximity, slow burn, tons of trigger warnings. So I was like, okay, this sounds pretty interesting. I mean, what's this? I am here for some tea. It was absolutely terrible. Nobody in the book sounded like an actual human being. Like there are, you know, gay books that straight women write that sound like, you know, the dialogue is believable. The best example I can think of is Him and Us by Serena Bowen and Elle Kennedy. Those are really good books. I really like them. But this Follow the River book was like, the author watched gay porn and she quoted those horrible lines and was like, this is how they all sound. It was horrible. Like the writing was, I think, worse than Den of Vipers. It was super cringe, super annoying. There was zero consistency in how any of these characters felt toward one another. It made literally no sense. After 23% of the book, I DNF'd it. I was like, hell no, fuck that shit. Goodbye. Alright, so the next question is number 8. A book you are currently reading. Now, I just finished House of Earth and Blood last night, so I don't have a current read at the moment, but I'm thinking of reading Where the Crawdads Sing because the trailer looks so good, and after watching Fresh, anything that Daisy Edgar Jones is in, I want in, so there's that. So I think I might start that one later. I don't know, we'll see. Number 9, this question is, the last book you recommended to someone. Throne of Glass to Jordaline. Okay, look, hear me out, hear me out. I know that this is super off-brand, okay? Especially for the people who watch me for the extreme horror books and shit like that. And I do love them, but I also love the fairy porn. So the Sarah J. Maas, you know, we stan, I stan. You can disagree, but that doesn't mean I'm a fraud when it comes to horror, okay? It just means that I have a wide variety of tastes in my escapism, and there's nothing wrong with that. So Jordaline was hosting a live show, and she had apparently really enjoyed A Court of Thorns and Roses, the first book. Now, I fucking hate that book because it is a stupid romance book. I hated the characters. It was such a waste of time. We don't stand. However, she gave it 5 stars, so I was like, girl, you might want to try her other books if you like that one so much. And then it also turned into a thing about starting a cult. Okay, it was a long story, but that's that on that, okay? Okay. Number 10, next question. Oldest book you've read by publication date. I don't exactly know when this book was published, but I know for a fact that this is probably the Iliad by Homer. Read it for school. I don't think I've read anything older than ancient Greece, okay? So there's that. Number 11, newest book you've read by publication date. I think that's gonna have to be The Arrangement by KIERSTEN MODGLIN. I think that's the most recently published book I have read. Number 12, who is your favorite author? Okay, here's the thing. I don't know who my favorite author is because even the ones I read the most frequently, even with how much I stan them, they do have books that I fucking hate with my entire being. And even authors who have written favorite books of mine, like Marisha Pessl, J.F. Gonzalez, Jack Ketchum, even then, it's like I've read too few of their works to say that they're my favorite authors. I don't know. I don't have a favorite author. Number 13, buying books or borrowing books. It doesn't really matter, honestly. As long as I can have access to a book and finish it and be able to log it into my personal tracker, it doesn't really matter if I own the thing or if I borrowed it. However, if I fall in love with the book, like if I love it with my entire being, I will consider purchasing a physical copy for myself just so I can have it with me. Number 14, a book you dislike that everyone seems to love. Straight up. Six of Crows, or anything by Leigh Bardugo for that matter. It's like, I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't think her books are bad by any means. These books just don't speak to my soul. I just don't like them. So number 15 is bookmarks or dog ears. Bookmarks. I mean, dog ears, it physically hurts me to fold the pages of a book. However, I don't use actual bookmarks. I kind of just use like receipts or whatever I can find, scratch paper. It doesn't really matter to me as long as I know where I am, you know, as long as I can ground myself, center myself, figure out where I am in the world. It doesn't matter. I don't need a fancy bookmark. I just need something that works for me, okay? Number 16, a book you can always reread. I'm not a huge rereader, but last year I reread The Great Gatsby and all the A Series of Unfortunate Events books because those were my childhood. I just love nostalgia. Number 17, can you read while listening to music? I actually can, but not music with lyrics, okay? I listen to movie scores while reading a book. I also listen to meditation music, very slow, very relaxing, the kind of music you'd hear in a spa, you know, no lyrics, just things to calm the mind, rain noises, things like that. It helps me read faster, it helps me concentrate, it slows my mind down so I don't think too much while trying to read. It helps me out a lot, 10 out of 10, highly recommend. Number 18, one POV or multiple POVs. I tend to prefer one point of view because I like to pretend that I'm the main character of the book and that everything is happening to me. You know, I like to be in the world. I like to be in their head, especially if the character is someone I personally resonate with. I love being in the story. You know, number 19, do you read a book in one sitting or over multiple days? I can do both. It really depends on the book. But if it's, you know, quite long, obviously I'm not gonna try to cram 800 pages in one day. My attention span just wouldn't be able to accommodate that. So it really depends on the situation, on the book, on the circumstance, my personal mood that day. I'm a huge mood reader, so there you go. Number 20, who do you tag? No one, because tagging people gives me anxiety. Okay, that's it for the But yeah, until then, thank you so much for watching. Like and comment and subscribe. I hope to see you in future videos, and as always, take care. I lose myself